Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reading a Paw Patrol book by Nickelodeon called Pups, Save the Parade. The pups were getting ready for the Adventure Bay Day Parade. In honor of the occasion, Marshall turned his water cannons into confetti shooters. Zuma turned his vehicle into a cool pirate float. "Arr, shiver me timbers, dude," he says with a giggle. Meanwhile, Ryder was helping get Sky's helicopter ready so she could skywrite a big surprise. Rubble was filling the bucket loader of his digger with gray balloons that looked like rocks and trying to keep them from floating away. Over on Main Street, Katie drove up with a giant bathtub float decorated with pink balloons that looked like bath bubbles. Callie and Chicoletta were wearing a colorful shower cap, sat in the huge tub. Alex helped Katie tie even more balloons to her float, which made it really begin to float. Up, up, up into the air it went. The tub, with Callie and Chicoletta still in it, drifted away until the giant straw on top of the lemonade stand snagged it. A frantic Mayor Goodway called Ryder on his pup pad and asked Ryder to help. Ryder immediately called the pups to action. "We have to save Callie and Chicoletta and get the tub down in time for the parade," he told them. Marshall, Chase, and Ryder raced to the scene. "Ladder up," called Marshall, and he rode his fire truck's rising ladder up to the float. As Marshall reached for the pets, the float wobbled in the air, and a frightened Callie jumped right into Marshall's face. "Callie, I can't see," Marshall cried. Marshall tumbled into the floating bathtub. The force of his landing freed the float from the giant straw, and it began to drift even farther away. Marshall tried to steer the float, but bumped into giant balloons shaped like Rocky and Sky. "Ew, a giant Rocky nose," said Marshall. Marshall managed to steer the float away from the giant balloons, but then the tub bumped into the tower atop City Hall, and Chicoletta fell out. Everyone watching below gasped. "Net!" Chase cried, and the cannon in his pup pack fired a huge net over the area. Chicoletta landed in the net and bounced safely into Mayor Goodway's arms. "Chicoletta!" the mayor cried with delight. Meanwhile, Marshall and Callie were still inside the tub, stuck on the tower. Suddenly, the wind blew, the tub tilted, and Marshall and Callie started to slide. Just in the nick of time, Marshall grabbed the tub's edge, and Callie managed to hold on to Marshall's tail. "We need Sky," said Ryder, and he called on her on his pup pad. "Boy, am I glad to see you," cried Marshall, as Sky swooped over to him. With Callie still clinging to his tail, Marshall used his teeth to grab the bar from Sky's helicopter. Sky safely piloted her copter down to the ground. Callie rushed into Katie's arms for a hug and a snuggle. Marshall and Callie were safe, but the tub was still up in the sky floating away. "Chase, you can shoot tennis balls from your cannons to pop some balloons," said Ryder. Chase began to shoot one tennis ball after another at the float. The balls hit the balloons and popped them, and ever so gently, the float sank back down to the ground. The Adventure Bay Day Parade finally got underway. The team proudly drove down Main Street beneath Sky's possum skywriting, and the giant balloons shaped like everyone's favorite pups, the Paw Patrol. Thank you for watching. And that was Nickelodeon's Paw Patrol book, Pups Save the Parade.